SoCal Surf with Dan Nappy, sponsored by Task Bullet for all your virtual office needs, and Nappy Clothing for, for a good night's sleep. Get one of Nappy Clothing's hammocks. Today we went to the north side of the Huntington Beach Pier, very small, barely breaking. There was only 4 people out, and 3 of them were us. So we only had one guy we didn't know. And the rest of the people were people we came with. And then the 2 more guys showed up that we knew. So there was like 6 or 7 of us, and that was it for about a half hour. Then they started to show up around 7, and then around 8 it got a little more crowded. And then everybody started to leave pretty much after 8 because it just was too small to break. And the talk is still about sharks in the water. And then we... I guess it was around 7:30ish, we saw 2 lifeguards take off on jet skis or personal watercrafts, whatever you call them, and they were heading towards the north, which is towards Sunset Beach, which is closed again today because of the 3 sharks are still hanging around there. Sunset Beach is not a real crowded beach. It's pretty sparse, so it's not like Huntington or Newport, where you have a lot of people going to the ocean. Sunset's got fewer people, but nevertheless, they closed it because of the sharks in the water. So they're still there, they haven't left. We saw 2 lifeguards, like I say, take off on 2 different jet skis and head north. So we don't know what they were doing. We don't have any idea, but we only guessed that they were going to check it out and see if the sharks were still there. So that's the story, that everyone's still talking about it, but there's a lot less people in the water right now, and I'm suspecting that's because people are talking about sharks. And there's a new shark movie coming out in the middle of June, so that'll help keep the crowds down. But also weighs heavy on your mind when you're sitting there. So be careful, keep your eyes open. If you see something, get out. Most of the time the lifeguards are watching out with either helicopters or towers or jet skis, and if they see sharks in the water, they notify the people and they ask you to get out, or they'll close the beach altogether like they did at Sunset. And Sunset Beach is just north of Huntington Beach, just over just past Bolsa Chica. As Bolsa Chica ends, Sunset Beach begins, and it's not the very big beach. It's about 1.5 miles total, where Huntington is like 5 or 10 miles, and if you include the cliffs, it could be even more. Never really clocked it, never really measured it, but it's a pretty big beach. A lot of people go to Huntington Beach. The state beach is there, so you get a lot of people in the summer, all the way from the pier clear down to Brookhurst Street, which is the last street before you go over the bridge to Newport. So summertime, very crowded, starting to get that way. It's still a little what they call June gloom, which is overcast in the mornings. It starts to clear up at noon or 1 o'clock. That carries through June most of the time. Then it starts to get clear up and get sunny mornings in July on through December. Off and on, you get some overcast days depending on the high pressure, low pressure, whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's supposed to be small all week. I think I've caught maybe 5 to 7 waves, and only one of them was able to even turn hard on. The rest were just, catching it and kind of just try to stay with it as long as you can, kind of real mellow, very slow moving wave. So you couldn't do much. So that's okay. It's all good. So we got mostly lefts today. I did see a couple of rights that some other guys got, which were very long. I mean, because of the low tide, and I mean, it's really low. You can catch that wave and ride all the way in. The dead zone is not really dead so much as it kind of just fades a little bit. But if the wave's just even somewhat big, you can link it and take it all the way into the sand if you want, which is very rare for Newport. But super low tide, you can do that. The waves are so small. Don't know what more I can say about that. It's just really tiny. I mean, it looks like a Newport day on average. So it's pretty small. So got a few waves. Yesterday, I didn't realize it, but someone told me today that yesterday one of the guys, I don't know him, but one of our guys that surfs there a lot knows him. He was surfing and he got stung by a stingray. And unfortunately, he had to go to work after that, so he is not going to be able to put his foot in hot water. He's just going to be walking around his office for 4 hours with a very, very sore foot. So nobody wants to step on a stingray. Those are very, very painful. But, interestingly enough, you rarely see them. So, but they're there. Just got to, if you feel anything by your feet, just don't push down. Just pick your foot up as fast as you can. And this morning when I was checking the surf, I was looking on the cameras on Surfline, and I saw dolphins, which I rarely ever see on camera. I see them almost all the time in the water, but I was watching them go across the screen on the TV or computer. So it was interesting. I didn't see any when I got there. In fact, I didn't see anything in the water, just talk about the sharks. That's it. So, and the stingray that I heard about, didn't see it. So there's a couple things that make you nervous when you're out in the water. But it's gonna keep surfing, I guess. I don't know what else we're gonna do. Well, that's all we got for today. Pretty slow, pretty small, not much to talk about. Weather's looking good though. Water's warming up. The air's getting a little warmer, so we may be switching. I took my booties off today, so first time since wintertime had the booties on, so took them off. I think I may have taken them off one other time to test the water. Then I put them back on, but I think we're going to go without booties for the rest of the season, and then may switch to the summer suit any day now. So that's what surfing's all about here. Got to buy a new one this maybe Father's Day or something. Thanks for listening. Check out our sponsors. See you tomorrow. Surf is good. Thanks. Bye.